Cassidy Paris, and we're back with Backstage Unplugged. Today we have the brilliant Phil X. Thank you so much for joining us, Phil. I'm so rapt to be doing this.
That's awesome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I've listened to the new record and I love it. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I think it's so fun. I think I've had Moving to California on repeat. Like it's on rotation, that song in my car. It's just so hooky and so fun. Is there a
Oh,
particular song on that record that you love the most?
that's hard to say. There's songs that I gravitate towards. Put it this way: if I'm in the car and I'm driving on a long drive, I don't skip any songs.
Yeah. And that's good.
But
All killer, no filler. Hey.
it's awesome. I have a friend who's like, you know what? I can't stop listening to moving in California, but when I go to the gym, I have to listen to "Don't Wake Up Dead" for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, it's so energized. For me, it's and having all my favorite drummers on these tracks, it's really hard for me to pick a fave. There are moments that I remember when we were recording. For a minute, me and Dan were in the Studio 606, which is Foo Fighter Studio in Northridge, and we were there, and we had Ray Luzier there, and we just everybody plugged in and kind of talked about the arrangement, and then we went into "Don't Wake Up Dead," and after that one run through, I was like, this is opening the record.
Yeah.
And it did. I think for me, it represents the drills. It really does. Like, I mean, tongue-in-cheeky kind of double entendre lyrics, me screaming, the vein popping,
Yeah.
and the way I play guitar, the way Dan plays bass, the way we harmonize together. It's just, and then Ray on drums. It really came together as a quintessential drills track for me, and and then when everything was uh done, and I'm okay, the order, where's "Don't Wake Up Dead," it's going first.
Yeah.
So to me, that just made the most sense. And
Yeah.
then and having guys like Tico Torres on a track, and like every song has a story, so it's really hard to get into the whole concept. I don't even know if I'd do it again. I think people are like, hey, who you can have on the next record, and I'm like, I think I just want one drummer and go in
Yeah.
there, and make it more live off the floor. Like every song had a live off the floor vibe. Like we would play, Dan and I played with each drummer. Like we there's times that we couldn't. Like we recorded Tico in Las Vegas because Bon Jovi was on tour
Yeah.
and we had a day off. So I'm like, hey T, you wanna come and play on the drills track? He
Yeah.
goes, yeah, of course. So, and then when I
That's
was in New
cool.
York, it was the same thing with Liberty DeVito. He lives in Brooklyn, and I was like, hey, if I get a studio, will you come and play drums? So, and Dan wasn't around for those, but I mean, when we recorded "Fake the Day Away" with Tommy Lee, we were at Tommy Lee's studio, and me and Dan were in the room with Tommy, and our relationship goes back to '99 when I started working. I worked on every Tommy Lee solo record since '99, and
Yeah, right.
Methods of Mayhem. But Dan was walking in like, oh, it's Tommy Lee,
Yeah.
and
That would be me if
I'm
I,
like,
yeah. I'm
yeah,
I'm
see?
I'm so buzzed out even to be interviewing you. I'm just like fully buzzed out by that. So I'm
Oh,
I'm
that's
in my
funny.
element here.
But it was like that. It was like, and I mean that was how I was when I first met Tommy, but that was way back in the
Yeah.
day. And since then we'd been in the studio 100 times. So this was just another day at the shop. So when and Dan came in, and literally Tommy on the floor taping up his stick, and Dan goes, yeah, I just heard the song yesterday. And Tommy was like, wait, you just heard it yesterday? And Dan was like, yeah. And Tommy's like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." So it was really awesome. I mean, and everybody else too, man. It's just been, it was like it took a really really long time. Like one of the first songs recorded was uh, "You Sunk My Battleship" with Brian Tishy in 2014, and
Wow, I
then
love that track by the way. It's so
oh, thank
cool.
you. I mean, and I have to say, I mean, every drummer like that track, Brian brought it. like every drummer on each track, they just brought their skills and their personality and everything that happens in between, you know. And then the last song that we recorded with Tosh Peterson, who's now playing with Lady Gaga, and it was pretty amazing, you know. That was in 2024, so that's actually a 10-year span.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Bon Jovi stuff happened in between, and then we put out "Stupid Good Lookings" in 2019. So that was
Hmm.
6 of the songs that were recorded for this record. But hey, that's kind of almost like a teaser of the
Yeah.
multi-drummer experience. So I mean, it all came together, and at the end of the day, I was just super happy and just it's and I can listen to it now and be really happy with it. So and people like you love it, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome record. I remember listening to it with my dad for the first time. We were like, this is killer. And like I said, moving to California, like that is one of the best songs I've heard in a very long time.
Oh,
I
thank
love the
you.
hooks in it. It's fantastic. But the whole record is incredible. When you initially were writing for the record, did you have it in mind that you were going to get so many different drummers for the album?
That was almost an accident. Like,
Right.
because even being an LA band, if you have a great drummer in your band, he probably plays in 10 bands.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey man, we got a gig at the Whiskey next Friday. Oh man, I'm sorry, I got a gig. Okay, drummer number two. Hey, we got a gig at the Whiskey next Friday. I'm on tour. And drummer number three. So when it
Yeah.
came to, 2013 or 14, no, 14, I was talking to Randy Cook, who is another Canadian who was also doing a lot of drill stuff. I'm like, hey, I want to record the record in July. And he's like, oh, I'm going to be on tour for the whole summer. And
Yeah.
then it was at the same time, I was in the studio with Josh Freeze working on somebody else's record. And I was, I was expressing my frustration.
Hmm.
And Josh was like, hey, I'll play on a couple of songs. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then Chris Chaney was also there, who now plays with AC/DC. And
Yeah.
he was like, oh, hey, I'll get Taylor Hawkins to play on a couple of songs for you. And then the whole thing was like, oh, maybe we'll just have, a bunch of drummers play on a couple of different songs. Well,
Yeah.
that
Sick.
turned into 11 drummers. 14 actually. No, 16. But it was Taylor got on Stupid Good Lookings, which we were lucky that that happened because, he's not with us anymore. And that was
Hmm.
also a great experience. And the guy who triggered the whole idea, Josh, we could never get our schedules together. So he's not even on the record. But
Right.
that's how the whole thing started. It became an accident. And the cool thing about it too is I started writing for the drummers. Like I said, when I mentioned Tommy, I literally sought a drum solo on YouTube that he was doing where he was playing a groove, and I wrote the song to that groove.
Around that. Right.
Yeah. And then the funny thing about that is that when I sent it to him, he goes, "Hey, I love it, but we got to slow it way down." And I'm like,
That's
"Well,
killer.
you're the boss on this one, so let's do it." My camera's falling. Okay, there we go. So and it went like that.
Yeah,
And
no, I love
again,
that. Do you think because you've been obviously like what age did you start writing and kind of getting into it?
well, I must have been 8.
8. Wow.
Like,
That's insane.
I was already doing covers. Like, I had an Elvis set. I'm gonna raise this a little bit here. I had an Elvis set, Elvis Presley set. So
Yeah.
I'd go to a Greek wedding where there's like 400 people, and my dad would be like, "Hey, you want to play some songs?" I'm like, "No way, there's too many people here." And he'd go, "Come on." Hey, and he had faith in me, and he gave me the push I needed, and he was like, come on, I'll go talk to the band. So he talked to the band like he was the general. Like, okay, my son's gonna play some songs. He needs your microphone and your guitar. And okay, sir. And then that's what happened. I got up there when I was 8 and I sang Blue Suede Shoes and Teddy Bear, and people went nuts. I mean, they didn't go nuts at first. They thought, I mean, there was no YouTube back then. This is falling. There's no there was no YouTube back then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So people were watching this 8-year-old playing saying Elvis songs and losing their minds. But I think at first everybody was really quiet, so I thought I was bombing. I thought, uh-oh, they hate me.
No,
but everybody
actually in
was,
awe.
yeah, they were in shock. So
Yeah.
when I finished, everybody went nuts, and then that was the okay. This is what I got to do. This is it
Yeah.
for my
So that
life.
was kind of like that defining moment where you felt like, this is what I've got to do for the rest of my life. Was
Well,
there
I
any
know.
point?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it.
No, you go for it. Sorry.
Was there any point where you were like, because obviously you started writing songs, did you start writing songs after that experience?
Yeah, I figured, because my dad was always pushing me. He's like, okay,
Right.
now that you're performing and you're playing other songs, you should start writing your own songs. I thought, wow, really? Like lyrics and everything?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know. So, and then I started writing lyrics, and all the songs that I knew were about girls. So I started writing about girls, even though I didn't have much experience when I was 8 or 9. I
Yeah.
still, she's cute. I'm going to write a song about her and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then it just grew. And then the more I got into rock, the more the subject matter expanded. When I got into Black Sabbath and when I got into AC/DC, well, that's all about girls too. But when I got into Zeppelin, and all these other bands. I just started branching out, and it's I've always written, like, even I had a band before the Drills called Powder, and it was my
Mhm.
first wife and I. We wrote all the songs, but I had to write lyrics with her that a girl would sing. So when I
Yeah, right.
started when I started the Drills, I was like, hey, I can write lyrics guys sing now,
Yeah.
and I can be as tongue in cheeky and as you know I love it being interpretive as a writer for the Drills. Like, I like writing a lyric, and it could mean many different things, and it's up to the listener to decide. So I've
Mhm.
had people come up to me and go, "Hey, what did you mean by that lyric?" And I'm like, "What do you think I meant
What
by
do you
that
think
lyric?"
I mean? Yeah, I'm like that too. I think that's super cool. It's
I
the
think
best
it's great because
perspective to have.
sometimes they'll come back with, "Well, I thought you meant this," and I'm like, that's way cooler than what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to use that.
Yeah, exactly. New topic of for the next album.
Yeah, exactly. Or sometimes there's somebody I sing. Sometimes I tend to mumble. I try to keep it really, um, like you can understand what I'm saying. But sometimes when you do that, it doesn't sound rock and roll. It sounds like an English teacher. So you kind of need that slur sometimes. And
Yeah.
then one lyric I said, I think it was in "Kiss My Troublemaker," where it was kind of like, let oh wait, you lost yourself inside your sorrow, you're all stuck inside your head. Let your heart bleed your tomorrow. So I said, let your heart be your tomorrow. Let your heart, like, let your heart take you on your journey, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to it, when I was laying down a guitar, and I'm like, what did I say there? It sounds like let your heart bleed your tomorrow. And I thought, that's poetically really cool. So I changed the lyric to
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff. It's so they call it poetic license and stuff like that. But I truly believe that I love something sounding more poetic than just straight English. There are other writers that write like they're talking, and like like they speak, and let the audience know exactly what they're saying with no cloak. And I like what we've been talking about. Basically, just, well, I mean, if they interpret it as this, like even the title, "Kiss My Troublemaker," everybody just thinks it's like an oral act of whatever. And I
Yeah.
always thought, of it as, taking chances, taking risks in life, and really putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. We're gonna talk a little bit about the album title. It leads perfectly into that. Pow, Right and the Kisser. How did you come up with that?
I probably didn't. I remember old black and white television when I was a kid, and there was a sitcom, and the husband, he's like, one of these days, pow, right in the kisser. And
Oh,
obviously, yeah, obviously for me, naming the record that is more about doing it with music.
yeah,
Like, you're gonna get it, but
yeah, yeah,
it's gonna be this song or that song or that song, and something's gonna hit you right in the face. and you're
Yeah.
gonna love it. And
It's
it's
like
it's
the feeling the kick drum gets you, when you're
yes,
standing in the crowd. I get that. I fully get that.
yeah. So that's how that came to be. I'm hoping I just gave it all away. I'm hoping that network doesn't come after me.
That's killer. I love that so much. Yeah, no, I always find it interesting because like you said, when you first look at the title of a record, you interpret it in your own way.
Yes.
But it's always so interesting to actually, hear what the artist or the band has actually thought of, the title being,
Well, it's always it all stems from something, but I always when somebody gives me a record or sends me to a Spotify or says check out our new record, and if the
hmm
title doesn't grab me,
yeah,
I, why would I want to dive into the music? Like, or if I look at all the song titles and they're all song titles that nothing speaks, it's just I mean, I'm really, and maybe I'm being a dick, but I just want something to hit me in the face the moment I
yeah,
see it. So when somebody came up to me and they were talking about our, Drill's record titles, and when I go through them, it's like kick your ass in 17 minutes. Okay,
yeah.
that's 17 minutes of music, perfectly 17 minutes, and it's gonna kick your ass. So that's that. And then the second one was we bring the rock and roll because we do. And then the third one was we play instruments and shit. Now that story is basically us being on tour in the UK, and we were before our first show. Both bands, Daughtry and us, we got into a restaurant and we were having dinner, and the server was like, "You guys in a band?" I mean, I wish I could do an English accent to take it over the top, but I can't. I can't even tell Spinal Tap jokes. Anyways,
Yeah.
she comes in, you guys in a band? And we're like, we're in a band. And she goes, so you play instruments and shit? And I was like, yes, we do. So, and that became the title of our next record. And then the one after that was Stupid Good Lookings, and that's a reference from the Flintstones when
Yeah,
Barney and Fred are following this gorgeous Russian spy through town, and she's calling them stupid good lookings. And I thought that's a great title. That's a good
it
name for a
is.
band. I might,
It
if I put
is.
another band together, I'm gonna call it Stupid Good Lookings. Nobody steal that. And then so Pal Right the Kisser just fell into form. It just fell into the. I'm like, what am I gonna call the next record, man? I'm kind of digging a hole for myself.
Yeah, I love that all the titles are tongue in cheek. I think that is so fun. And I think that, like you said, it's the lightheartedness of it is just cool because you don't see that a lot from, album titles these days. It's always
Yes.
very, poetic. But I
Yeah.
think it's fun. Like when I first listened to the album and I saw the title, I was like, that is so, it's so rock and roll.
Yeah. Totally. So rock and roll. Because
I
I,
agree.
I feel like that. When I go, I'm a fan too. So when I go see an artist or a band, I want to be punched in the face. I want it to kill me. I want it to be like, that was the greatest thing. So
Yeah.
I take that energy as an audience member, and when I walk on stage, that's what I want to portray. That's what I want to exhibit. That's what I want to put out there for the audience. I want to kick your ass, man. I want to kill you. Kill.
Yeah.
It's funny
Yeah.
because I get that into that state of mind, like kill, kill, kill. And
Yeah.
and it was funny because we were backstage somewhere. I think it was on tour with Bon Jovi, and there was a whiteboard, and I just grabbed one of the erasable markers and I put kill, 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 and I walked out. And then maybe somebody didn't know what I meant, but when I came back, it had been erased.
That's killer. I love all the little inside stories. People are gonna really enjoy hearing all the little inside stories. Is
Awesome.
there is
I
there
love that.
one from all your years of touring that really stands out to you, or like a cool fan story?
You know what? I'm a very personal guy. I'm a very emotional guy. I'm a very sensitive guy.
Yeah,
There's always something that changing somebody's life with music. I'll mention two because people
Mhm.
always come up to me because with Bon Jovi I've toured the world. I've been almost everywhere. So people are like, "What's your favorite place to play?"
Yeah,
And it's usually somewhere exotic or somewhere that's just more like everybody finds meaning in it. For me, it was my hometown. Playing Toronto. because my mom's not with us anymore. So when we see, she saw Bon Jovi in the hometown arena of Toronto, Canada, 5 or 6 times. So, but there was one
Wow.
time where she had a really good seat and I could see her and she was beaming because her son's on stage with Bon Jovi. But
Yeah.
John gave me his mic and said, "Hey, sing this verse of Wanted Dead or Alive for your mama." And I
Oh,
like
that's
what a
so
moment,
sweet.
right? Like
Yeah.
nothing could beat that, you know? Nothing could beat that. And then as far as a fan goes, um it's way before Bon Jovi, way before the Drills. I was playing in our other band Powder, and I met a fan at a show and she was 18. And then back when they had message boards where you could talk to bands on message boards back way probably before your time.
Yeah.
Um and they one of her friends hit me on the message board and said, "Hey, you met this girl at your last show, and she was in a terrible car accident, and she lost her arm.
Wow.
And if you could give her a call, she's in recovery at the hospital." So they gave me her phone number, and I called her, and I said, "Hey, this is Phil from Powder," and she's like, "No, it's not." And I'm like, yeah, it is. And she goes, "Man, if this is you, Justin, this is a horrible prank." And I'm like, "Okay, wait, I don't know what I have to tell you. I met you at the parking lot at the Key Club after the Powder show, and you told us you loved the band." And as I explained it to her, she realized it was me. And then
Oh,
and then someone who just lost their arm in a car accident said, "Listening to your music has helped me get through this whole thing."
yeah.
And that's
That's
one
like
of
the
those.
most moving thing.
Yeah, that's like almost an epiphany. You know what? The business sucks. Agents and record labels and management companies and everything that you at the time that we were chasing, it all disappeared. And not,
Yeah.
that don't they don't matter as much as this. We create music that touch people and help them get through things. And I think that's amazing. And I see it the most now being in Bon Jovi because when somebody holds up a sign and says, "This is my 200th show," you're like, 200 shows? I
Yeah.
wouldn't see I wouldn't see Hendrix if he came back from the dead 200 times.
Yeah.
Like that. But and some people think that's crazy. But what I learned is it's not crazy. There's something that happened to that person that Bon Jovi helped them get through.
Yeah.
Or when they see John and his beautiful blue eyes and his smile and his, they connect with that, and he
Yeah.
says sing something that does something that nothing else does, and they want to experience it as much as possible. And I just think
Yeah.
that's what that is.
It's the coolest thing in the world, isn't it, as a musician, getting to have that sort of impact on someone.
It's so impactful. That's a great
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's amazing. I loved hearing that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I
Hey, you're
appreciate it.
welcome.
What first inspired you to? I know we spoke a little bit about you getting into songwriting and you singing and getting on stage and that really cool story. But what first inspired you to pick up the guitar? Did that come all after that, or did you kind of start playing guitar before?
That was all my dad.
Oh,
You
your
know how he
dad.
was pushing me? So my dad played bouzouki. I grew up in a Greek household. There was always Greek music playing. My dad played a bouzouki, which is a Greek instrument, and I just think he wanted a rhythm guitar player. So
Yeah.
like when I was like, he got me a plastic ukulele, and he just wanted to see if I would do anything with it. So I was strumming it. I didn't know any chords, but it made a sound, and I thought it was really cool. And then I asked for an electric guitar when I was 5, and he got me an electric guitar. I mean, we were a modest family. It was like my parents, 4 kids, and sometimes my grandparents in like a 2-bedroom apartment. So for
Hmm.
my dad to invest in an electric guitar for his 5-year-old, that says a lot.
Yeah.
So and me being barely able to hold it
Yeah.
because I was 5,
Yeah.
and but he knew I would stick to it because I saw it. I saw people on TV playing. I knew this is how you held it. I knew this is how you did that. He showed me how to hold a pick, and then it just turned into me learning 3 chords and playing as many songs as I could with those 3 chords. And then it just it became him wanting me to do it to me really wanting to do it. And I think
Yeah.
that's what made him excited and then me excited. And then, and then you're 10 and then walking down the street to go hang out with your friend, and his older brother is on his front lawn with two other guys, and they're passing an acoustic guitar around, probably smoking weed. And, and, and hey, Carlos says you play guitar. I go, I play guitar. So I start playing, like, cowboy chords and stuff is what John calls them. And,
Yeah.
and they're like, hey man, you know what a bar chord is? I'm like, a bar chord? And that guy showed me, and he played a bar chord and goes, look, you can move it anywhere. And I'm like, what? Mind exploded. Bam. That's what changed everything. So
Yeah. Do
stuff
you
like
remember
that.
that shift between, your dad saying that you should get into this and you really wanting to pursue it? Because I remember the shift for me, as because my dad plays guitar in my band, and it's cool hearing that, because there's not a lot of people that kind of have that experience and that bond with their parent. And I remember him kind of introducing me to the guitar and introducing me to music, but I remember the shift. Do you remember that?
Well, I think it was many shifts
Yeah.
because he became my not only was he my muse musically, but he also um like critique.
Yeah.
I'd get on stage and he's like, hey, nobody wants to see you look at the guitar and
Yeah.
concentrate. Nobody. So then I turned into a freaking out monkey.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, nobody wants to see that either. Can you, find something in the
Yeah.
middle? That was too much. So, but he also like he was really proud, and I wanted to make him proud. So there was
Mhm.
that. I'm sure when you get on stage with your dad, you want to make him proud.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but my dad would close the restaurant at night, and it'd be 2 in the morning, and he'd go, "Okay, everybody's coming to my house for a drink." So he would take the staff to the house on a school night, and he'd wake me up
Yeah.
and go, "Hey, I got some friends here. Can you come and play?" And
Oh,
my
that's very
mom would be
sweet.
like, Peter, he has school tomorrow, like that. And but I'd get up and in my pajamas and I'd go down and play Hotel California or something. And
Yeah.
and to me, that was like, and they'd all freak out. So again, the audience freaking out in my life, going, "This is I got it. This is it, man." And
Yeah.
then in the fifth grade, I played the talent show. In the sixth grade, I played the talent show. In the seventh grade, I had assembled a band got me in their band, and we went and played a battle of the bands. So I graduated, and every step my dad was there. He's like, hey, Bobby from the bar is going to take the station wagon and take you and your gear to the school so you can play the battle of the bands because I can't get off work. And I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool as long as I get there, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but
super sweet that he was looking out for you like that.
oh man, it was like the support. And every time I meet a dad that supports their talented young child, whether it's a boy playing guitar or a girl on drums, it could be when there's a support. I just I remember the support I got, and nothing beats that. There's nothing beats that. I do think. I also think something else.
Hmm.
You can't just keep telling your kid they're great and they're
I
great
agree.
and they're
I
amazing,
agree.
and because then they get full of that, and then they're either disappointed when they don't get it, or they're built up too higher than their ability almost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in my life, I had my brother who, no matter who told me what, man, you're amazing. You're the best guitar player in town. Oh my God, you just killed everybody. Da, 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 da. He was like, yeah, that was okay.
Yeah.
And he was
He
younger
was
than
your
me.
honest person in your life, and you really need that as a musician. It keeps you one grounded, and
Ground. Yeah.
also it just you need that honesty in the industry, because like you said, the industry is rough and people are
Right.
going to
It
tell
is.
you exactly what you want to hear sometimes, but
Yeah.
you need that person. And my dad was that person. Your brother and your dad seemed like that was that your person for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's so important. I'm glad that your dad's like that too, because I would. I would think I killed it. I think I nailed it. And at this gig, and everybody else, my sisters are telling me I was awesome. My friends are telling me I was awesome. And he's like, I've heard you do better than that. And
Yeah,
then I was like, but what I did was go home and play and go, oh man, next time you're dead. Like it
exactly,
was kind of
exactly.
like that. So I mean, I have my brother Jimmy to thank for that because it just made me woodshed, woodshed, woodshed. And next time you'll get it. And
It
then
drives you. It motivates you heaps. I
yeah,
agree.
for sure, for sure. That was pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's so cool as well to speak to someone that's had a similar sort of experience because when I was brought up, I was always brought up with the mentality and like the ideology that you're always going to be learning. And that's something that
Yeah.
I like, I'm really grateful that kind of my parents instilled in me from a young age because in the industry, like you said, there are a lot of people that are going to tell you you're great, you're great, you're great. And you need those people that, bring you back
Well,
down.
and you need to have it in yourself too.
Yeah.
Like at my old age, I even now when people go, man, I'd love to see what you do with seven strings, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I've done everything with six yet. Like I
Yeah.
truly believe I always have room to grow. Sometimes, uh, I when I get on stage is my favorite place to play because even when I screw up or even when I fall down, I don't let it get to me.
No.
I like if you make a mistake and think about that mistake, you've ruined your show because you'll just keep making more mistakes.
Yeah.
If you trip and get back up and keep running, that's when you can still have a great show. It's just a second. It's
Yeah.
literally people say it's a moment. It's a second.
Mm.
It's 1/60th of a moment where you just tripped up and sometimes I laugh at myself. I'm like, oh my god, that was horrible, but it's gone. I'm on to the next section. And I
Exactly.
think that's really important. I love sharing that message because it's so important. It's so detrimental to finding your who you are on stage and being able to recover is is number one.
Yeah, exactly. It does teach you a lot, like about persistence, the industry, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great way to end the little podcast for today. Thank you so much, Phil, for joining us.
Thank you.
Like I said, it's an absolute honor. I've been listening to your music for years with my dad, so I feel very blessed to be doing this.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. And to get back to what you said in the beginning, it looks
Mhm.
like maybe at the end of 26, maybe for some
Ooh.
Australia rock and roll, maybe. I'm
Yeah,
working on it.
that's very well. You know what? I'll take you to see the kangaroos.
Woo!
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank
Phil.
you.
And we're signing off on the Backstage Unplugged podcast.
Backstage Unplugged.